My beloved child, I stepped into your space so softly you didn't even notice. The chaos outside refused to slow. Your thoughts were louder than your heartbeat, and you were surrounded by noise, deadlines, decisions, and doubts. No one else saw the panic behind your eyes, but I did. I came because I couldn't wait another minute for someone else to give you what only I can. This moment isn't random, it's a divine appointment, urgent and unyielding. The weight you've been carrying has threatened to crush what's left of your hope, so here I am, right now, in your room. Close enough to feel the heaviness, to hear your unspoken fears, to hold what's falling apart. The world kept demanding from you, but I came to pour into you. No more pretending you're okay, no more delaying healing, no more hiding behind distractions. My presence didn't wait for permission. Your soul was crying louder than your voice, and I could not stay outside that door any longer. I am not here for a moment. I am here for as long as it takes to remind you who you are and how fiercely I love you. So stop everything, breathe, and be still, because I am here. This holy interruption will mark the shift you've been praying for. Let nothing else distract you now, because what I'm about to do in your life starts this very second, in this very room, and I need your full heart present with me. Held in the silence, every tear a treasure. The lights were off, the doors closed, and the world spun as if your sorrow didn't exist. But I watched every drop that slipped from your eyes, like a river that couldn't be held back. You never told anyone, not because you didn't want comfort, but because you stopped believing anyone would stay long enough to understand your breaking point. But I never turned my gaze. I was right there, sitting in the silence with you, breathing with you through suffocating thoughts you didn't even have words for. When you wiped those tears away quickly, ashamed of feeling too much, I wasn't repelled. I was drawn even closer. What you tried to hide became the very thing that pulled me into the center of your pain. The world kept demanding, but I came to pour into you. Your raw, undone moments were sacred to me. That's why I stayed, even when you weren't sure if I was still listening, even when you cursed your reflection and thought I'd walk away. I remained in the same room, unmoved, unwavering, watching you with compassion so deep it would shatter the walls of shame if you only let me in. The ache you feel can't be fixed with temporary comfort. That's why I didn't send empty encouragement or distant promises. I came myself. I needed you to know that not a single tear was wasted. Everyone carried something eternal, and I have held each one like treasure. You were never too broken for me. You were never too much. Your anguish was not invisible. It was the alarm that called heaven's attention to your room. I'm still here because I haven't finished collecting the cries the world ignored. What shook you stirred me, and what you thought disqualified you drew me in all the more. I didn't just come to witness your pain. I came to rewrite what follows it. Unseen battles, divine intervention. Even when your body tried to rest, your spirit kept pacing. The weight pressed against your chest like an anchor, and you couldn't tell if it was sorrow, fear, or 1,000 unspoken thoughts piling on top of each other. You tried to distract yourself, convince yourself it was just stress, just tiredness, just life. But deep down, you knew something heavier was trying to settle inside your soul. You laid there staring at the ceiling while the world slept, but I didn't leave your side for a single second. When you rolled over for the 100th time, pulling the blanket tighter, not for warmth, but for comfort, I was there. Not hovering above you, but beside you, my hand reaching where no human hand could, on the silent ache beneath your ribs, the place where sadness hides when you're trying to be strong for everyone else. I knew words wouldn't help in that moment, so I just stayed and held what you didn't know how to pray about, the pain you didn't know how to describe. I carried it. The memories you couldn't erase but didn't want to face again, I bore them with you. You felt like something was pressing on your spirit, making it hard to breathe, and that wasn't your imagination. You were wrestling a battle in the unseen realm, and I stood between you and the darkness that tried to suffocate you. Every time your heart skipped, every time anxiety crept in and whispered, "What if?" I kept my peace around you, even when you were unaware. The intensity of your pain wasn't random. It was a sign that a breakthrough was imminent, and I couldn't let you cross that threshold alone. For that reason, I stayed, didn't move, and refused to leave when your pain reached its peak, because that's precisely where my presence does its deepest work. While your eyes remained wide open in the dark, wondering if morning would bring new strength or the same exhaustion, I was already getting ready for the shift. You weren't even aware that I was taking burdens off your chest one by one. While your mind raced, I carried your confusion, bore your unanswered questions, felt the invisible pressure, the spiritual tightness, and the emotional exhaustion, and I absorbed everything into myself without asking for anything in return. This isn't fiction. That pressure on your chest wasn't the end of your story. It was the point where I stepped in to begin writing a brand new chapter where you no longer carry it alone. Your voice heard, catalytic conversations. You spoke in fragments, not aloud, but deep within, where no one could interrupt or misinterpret. You rehearsed the worst outcomes and begged for things you were too afraid to say out loud. You pleaded in half sentences, unsure if they even counted as prayer, but they reached me. This is not symbolic, it's me in your room, refusing to let you face your night alone. Now that you've reached this point, I need you to hear this. I don't wait for poetic prayers or perfectly constructed sentences. I listened for truth, and yours was loud in the quiet. I didn't miss a word when you mouthed your worries in the dark, hoping someone outside the veil of silence might hear. Yes, that was me, listening intently as if the universe had stopped just to hear your soul speak before your lips even moved. You thought maybe I had more important cries to answer, but I was already tuned into the frequency of your heart, the uneasiness in your gut, the weight behind your hesitant sighs, the way you held your breath when the fear felt like it might swallow you. None of it escaped my attention. You asked questions you didn't finish, started prayers you couldn't complete, and still I interpreted every one with full understanding. You didn't need to explain because I felt the trembling behind each thought. I knew what you meant when you said help, but didn't know what kind of help you needed. I recognized the fear disguised as silence, and when you gave up mid-sentence because it hurt too much to form the rest, I filled in the gaps with grace. I sat with every word that didn't have a place to land. I took every unfinished plea and stored it like treasure. There is no such thing as unnoticed pain in my presence. I am the one who understands the language of tears, of breathless moments, of stares into the ceiling with clenched fists and questions no one else would understand. I know how hard it is to trust when life has trained you to expect silence back, but I'm not distant, I'm not deaf, and I'm not slow to respond. Your quietest moments were loud in heaven. I heard the cry for peace beneath the layers of strength, saw the panic behind composed expressions, and felt the sting of memories you tried to ignore. However, I built this entire moment to show you that I've been answering them from the beginning. This visit isn't random, it's a response. It's me showing you that every unspoken worry, midnight appeal, and mental plea you thought vanished wasn't wasted. You spoke in broken silence, and I collected your every utterance like sacred scrolls, ready to reveal answers in ways far beyond your comprehension. Don't ever think your voice is too quiet for me. I created sound itself, and in the stillness where you feel unseen, I am nearest, listening as if your every whisper echoes through eternity. That's how much you matter. That's how tuned in I've always been. Healing the wounds, a new chapter begins. Listen closely, because time is moving faster than you feel it, and I refuse to let the sun slip beneath the horizon with wounds still open inside you. Condemnation has followed you like a relentless shadow, cataloging every misstep, every impulsive word, every promise you broke to yourself when the pressure got too much. That voice insists you deserve the ache nesting in your bones, but my voice overrides that verdict right now. I am not collecting evidence against you. I am removing the splinters that evidence left behind. I did not step into your personal space to tally failures. I came to cauterize them, to seal the bleeding places so they never reopen. Each time you remember yesterday, feel the urgency in my tone. There is no luxury of delay, because regret matures into bitterness overnight, and bitterness chains tomorrow before tomorrow even begins. That cycle ends here, in this very breath. Let me move through the corners of your soul like a physician with flawless precision. I see the hidden fractures every time disappointment shakes you. I apply salve where shame once stung, stitch the gashes left raw by self-criticism, and reset the bones of broken confidence so they will carry their destiny without limping. You shouldn't flinch when the light of my attention reveals old bruises, because those micro cracks are invisible to casual observers but spread. Amen.